Welcome to BSW's Tech Dive. Tech Dive.
Submerge the ship.
The show goes technically deep into products you care about. The new, the old, the newish. So put on your gear, close up the hatch, and prepare to
Dive. Submerge the ship.
And now, here's John.
Welcome to this edition of BSW Tech Dive. I am John Lynch, Director of Business Development here at Broadcast Supply Worldwide, BSWUSA.com. Today's topic, processing, specifically audio processing and how to do it with microphone processors. And we're talking with Jay Tyler, who's Director of Sales Worldwide for Wheatstone and AudioArts. And Jay, as you and I talked off camera, some people think that, hey, this is quite a change for a traditional console company when you went into processing 20 years ago. But long before that, that's what you were doing.
Exactly right, John. Wheatstone actually started out in the 70s as AudioArts Engineering, and AudioArts was a processing company making EQs, compressor limiters, and other devices for the pro audio industry, not broadcast. So by coming back with our mic processing and other processing, we've sort of got back to our roots. And John, I was standing with our founder, Mr. Snow, in 2003 down at which is now CMG, Cox Jacksonville, when we walked through their rack room in their studios, and he saw all the lights on the Symmetrix voice processors, the compellers and Arianes in the rack. We were visiting a Wheatstone install at the time, our first bridge installation. And that's when he got the bug. I saw his eyes light up, and he's like, we want to do processing again. So that's when the original AP3 and HDP3, M2, M1, and then eventually M4 were all born from that original idea and that visit to Cox Jacksonville in 2003. And that's what gave him the bug to get back into the processing business.
One little visit is all it takes sometimes. There you go. And a great move because the products have become very popular.
Yeah, pretty much the M1 or M4 is the industry standard here in the United States. And I know it's good because we're seeing a lot of traction in the public radio market and down south in South America, typically where people did not use mic processing. They were usually natural dry mics, maybe a little bit of EQ or something on a console. But now we're seeing that our mic processing business has grown quite substantially.
Well, it's quite a change, too, from people who haven't used microphone processing. I think there's still probably a number of people out there who are a little bit leery of it. Just, hey, can I go the wrong way? And now I'm going to make things worse. But when you've got it dialed in correctly, the mic processor really enhances the overall sound quality.
Well, you're absolutely right. And one of the things that we're dealing with now, let's just not even think about the voice chat and, our symmetrical processing and stuff like that. But the rooms, the environment which people are working in has changed. And our algorithms and things like our gating, we're compensating for less than perfect rooms now. We're also compensating for a wide variety of voices. Some mic processing companies will say, well, we're going to make a box for the mic. Well, that's great. You got one mic in a studio. Well, in a major market like us where we're sharing studios, I may have 6 or 7 people using that one mic. So one of the things that we've always done is we've tailored our algorithms and presets for the human. And then obviously we can tweak stuff for the room and the environment and the microphone itself. So that's been our philosophy.
And how that's being done, you and I got to experience it personally at an install that I was involved with on your gear over at a major college athletic facility where we're standing, you and I having a conversation about 20 feet away from the main studio unit. This is a big open studio concept there, but we're talking about 20 feet away, and they've got a live show going on, and they can't hear us. That wasn't the way it used to be. This is great.
No, and you know, look now, radio sort of modeled television in the fact with these open newsrooms. You look at a WTOP or a big sports environment. You've got 10, 15 people talking, moving copies, you know, banging on keyboards, and you're not hearing that background noise. So that's a big part of our mic processing. Um, Also, what's unique about Wheatstone and mic processing in general, you know, we've always been known for audio quality. All right. And where that starts, John, is on the preamp. All right. If you've got noise going into your A to D converter and through the rest of the circuit, then you're going to have noise. One of the things we do is really ultra low mic preamps. Everybody in the industry loved the preamps from AudioArts back in the 70s, 80s, through our consoles in the 90s and 2000s. So we've taken that preamp technology pretty much as far as we can. Then right after the preamp, then we hit a 24-bit A to D converter. We're not using consumer type devices. You know, all this stuff is high quality, you know, at least broadcast quality. And we inspect them, mount them, and test them right here at Wheatstone. So we've got a lot of control on the circuits on the front end. So we're using the best possible parts we can to get that raw voice into our product. And then that's where the algorithms and all the magic really happens.
Now let's talk about the VOICE1. Number one, there was an M1, which was part of the Wheatstone Voices line. Now that one has gone away. The VOICE1 is in the AudioArts line. Is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a difference. I think the VOICE1 is feature packed. I've got a little. I know Brian will probably show us some better pictures of it. I've got one right here. Okay,
There you go.
And it's neat. It's compact. It's got a really nice display on it. The M1 and the M2s never had this nice of a display. It's an OLED, so it's going to show us the input level, the output level. It's got some front panel controls here. It's simple. I think it's sort of elegant and clean. And the back, straightforward. You've got a mic in. You've got logic control. You've got analog out. You've got digital out. And then we've got our network out. And that's what makes this box special, John, is that none of the M1 and the M2, they were not WheatNet devices. Lots of people used them with WheatNet. You know, Cumulus, for example, they've got M2s and M1s and now M4s in just about every studio in America. They're not a WheatNet customer so much, but people that realize they could use that Wheatstone processing coming out analog or digital. So now VOICE1 gives you the traditional AES output, the traditional analog. It has WheatNet output. So now it's, even though it's AudioArts branded, it's part of the WheatNet family. And so now you plug that right into the switch and your microphone is now a network source with no IO cables. In addition to the WheatNet, John, we realized that we wanted to work and have interoperability. So the VOICE1 actually has a little selection to do PTP, and we can send out 1 millisecond packets. So we can work with a number of other protocols right now natively without any transition. So again, on the network side, the VOICE1 will do native WheatNet at 1/4 milliseconds, or we can slave it to a PTP clock and give you a 1 millisecond output that might work with any other system using a PTP clock. So this is also going to get us into other markets outside of broadcast. And that's another reason for the form factor. It comes with a rack mount kit or an optional rack mount kit where you can mount one or two of them side by side. But we also have installations where they don't have racks. So they find unique ways to put them on shelves and mount them other ways for conference centers and other live venues. So we're looking forward to see how the industry reacts to this. The VOICE1 is a single channel mic processor, so it makes sense that in a studio where you have two mics, you can mount them side by side.
So what do you give up by going from the full rack size that you used to have with the M1 to this half rack size?
Just a hair bit of assembly and the ability to put twice as many mics in a single spot. So I see it as a positive for those people that were buying two M1s and stacking them on each other. So, you know, one thing I'll tell you about studio construction now, they don't really give a lot for air movement or air conditioning. Rack space is sort of a premium. So having be able to put two of these guys side by side is nice. You know, and there's a lot of installs, John, where we have a WheatNet install with the popular M4. We've got the 4 mic inputs on that, but we have that fifth microphone. And in the past, for the last 15 years, we've had to sell them an M1 or an MG1 to pair that. But then we were sort of getting out of the WheatNet environment because they were going into a Blade AES to get that fifth mic in. Now they can have that fifth mic come in on WheatNet. So I like the modularity of it and having a single channel WheatNet device.
Well, it's just a lot cleaner. And from an operational standpoint, you talk about, I'm assuming that there's not only the front panel controls, but this can also be controlled via GUI. Am I right?
Yeah, it's a real pretty GUI too.
There you go.
we made it look great. So every VOICE1 will come with a GUI, and that's where you'll give it its name. And you'll also select from a number of presets that we include with it that are set up for several different microphones. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. We give you a lot of dynamic range coming into the microphone. So we can work with pretty much any impedance, and we can give you like 32, dB of headroom input gain. So it's really flexible. And if it's anything like the rest of our mic processors, it's going to be very, very successful. And under the AudioArts badge and in this package, it makes it really attractive price-wise, John. Right now, introductory price is $1,500.
The one thing it doesn't have, this will come out in version 2.0. The John Lynch old sportscaster algorithm. There you go.
Well, John, I will make you a deal. If you sell 100 of these, I will have somebody fly out and we will make a John Lynch preset.
What a concept. Anyway, Jay, great information. VOICE1 is the product, and it's available right here at bswusa.com. Contact your BSW rep, or you can call us at this phone number. There it is, right there, 800-426-8434. Jay, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of BSW Tech Dive, and thanks for sharing the information, the exciting new information, voice processor called VOICE1 from AudioArts and BSW. Thanks for joining us.